and I've spent the last 2.5 years of my life building this buggy from scratch. I want to share my experiences and my knowledge, and hopefully be a little entertaining. Well, back from K2, behind me you see the buggy, my buggy. Looks really cool, except for it doesn't run. So I guess we're gonna have to figure out what's going on. I think it's a head gasket, but I might as well redo the heads. If I'm gonna redo the head, I might as well do the pistons and rings. The motor does have some miles on it. So such is life. Last time we went off-roading, I blew a head gasket. Everything boiled over in the cooling system. All the liquids came out like a geyser. And as I take this thing apart, there's like no coolant, which tells me a lot of the exhaust gases pushed all the coolant out. So we are going to have this engine completely rebuilt. I looked at getting a crate motor, but there's just so many bad reviews of these companies that I'm just like, I'd rather have someone do it that I trust, and I'm willing to wait a little longer. It is becoming going to be hot in the next couple months here in Texas. A little too hot for me to wheel, so I'm not in a huge rush. All right, a few bolts off, and we have the intake off. Actually, really wasn't bad. Pretty easy. I'll have the exhaust off, and we're going to replace this with some headers. Might as well, right? And here is the intake. Basically a few bolts, and it sits on these pegs. I did have to take off my PSC steering, which had to come off anyway. So we're off to a pretty good start. So I've got all the bolts loose. Got one down there I need to get loose. But I think if I just loosen the motor mounts, or remove the motor mount bolts on each side, the engine will just basically slide forward. I have about 12 inches. And I can take the motor out with the torque converter, and that would save me a lot of work. And then send this off to the builder, the machine shop, etc. But until I can do that, I have to cut off this little skid plate I welded on there, which I knew I would have to cut it off when I welded it on there, but I didn't think I was gonna have to do it this soon. But it is what it is. While I'm there, I have this radiator kind of sitting high. I'm thinking about relocating it to behind the seat. And then I can make a nice area for my tool bags. Maybe even move the ice chest on top and remove this. Not that it's causing any issues, but it might make it a little bit cleaner for version 2.0 buggy build. I'm hoping that when I slide the motor out, it'll fall to the ground, or we'll lower it to the ground. Then I can just take off maybe the control arms, move them out of the way, and then slide the motor out through the side. And that would be pretty easy to do. Here we are. Hopefully next couple days I'll have this sucker out and off to the shop to get rebuilt. We're going to go ahead and go with a 4.5 stroker. It's pretty easy to do, just some longer pistons, a different crank, and then we're also going to put a new cam on it. Nothing crazy, just a probably stock cam. I want low end torque, not high end. So a little bit more horsepower, maybe 30 to 50 horsepower more, which will definitely help out on the rocks and also with my steering. All right, engine's out. Not too bad. Now just figure out how to get it from under here. Might have to remove a couple of these control arms. Shouldn't be too bad. Got everything out. Decided to just go ahead and pull the torque converter, as you can see, with the block, just because I have room in the front to scooch it out. So I'm shimming this sucker out. So far so good. Hopefully this bolt holds. And we'll have this thing out ready to be rebuilt. All right, engine's out. Not too bad. Now just figure out how to get it from under here. Might have to remove a couple of these control arms. Shouldn't be too bad. Josh here, and I am super excited today because we are at the machine shop and we are going to pick up the new rebuilt block for the stroker. I am crazy excited. I got my engine guy here, back here, and we have been waiting weeks for this block to be done. And stay tuned, we're gonna have this build, have some videos, and then test it out on the trail. So shiny, sparkly. Ooh, we sprung for the brass grease plugs. Right here. Everybody, the stroker motor is here. It's been a few weeks, took a long time to get it machined, but the new 4.6 liter stroker is sitting right behind me. It's home, so can't wait to unload this and get it installed. Alright, so I was able to lift the one tire of the buggy and scooch the engine under there. A little sketchy there. I did have 3 points of contact, so if something failed there'd be 2 more. So I was very careful. The engine is now down here. I put the torque converter in. I have installed the stroker engine into the buggy. It has taken me a little bit. I had to remove it again and reset the torque converter with some help from a friend. And we have put oil in it. All I have left now is to hook up the exhaust pipes, the harness, and a few small odds and ends. But I cannot wait to start this up and see what it sounds like.
And then you realize you have to change it out of the draft into the waterfall, which is crazy to the engine. Driver front and passenger rear are the only 2 tires that just...
Oh, starter is not hooked up.
It's not bolted in, is it?
No, it's just hanging out.
Okay.
Wah, wah.
It works.
Take 2. Hey, turn this on here.
Point that.
Maybe I turn off the fans for now.
Yeah, we don't need that away. Save the juice for the starter.
I do need the pump.
I got a lot of dirt in those bearings. It's gonna take a lot of amps to crank it over.
Okay. Here we go.
You got fuel?
I might need to prime a little bit.
Prime a little. Oh, but this one you'll have to.
We might have to go back and make sure everything's hooked up.
You can't really prime these. You gotta just let the fuel get in there.
Yeah.